Hello and welcome to Winchester Now, our weekly roundup of some of the news stories in and around our city. I'm Mary Blaxland. Stay with us to learn about Tinathon, the Lighter Life Service and Santa's sleigh on tour.
Winchester Radio.
A group of fundraisers is hoping to top £50,000 this year in memory of a Winchester woman who died of cancer. It's the 5th year of the Tinathon Challenge, a month-long event starting this Friday. So far, more than 150 people have signed up and it's not too late to join. Here's one of the organisers, Miranda Rocksmith, to explain more.
Actually, it started with an idea in a pub, sadly, after our very good friend Tina Jury lost her life to cancer. She was an amazing marathon runner and convinced so many of us that we ought to start running too. And she used to make us do this challenge every December where we went out and ran every day of the month. And so it seemed a fitting tribute to her, sadly, after she died, to do something to be a legacy for her, a reminder to everyone of what a great spirit she was. So that's how Tinathon came about. But we decided that not everybody likes running, so we'd make it that everybody had to get out and do half an hour's exercise every day, something to raise their heart rate, which is just a fantastic thing to do because it's the most stressful time of year and the time of year where you might overindulge every now and again. So it's great to get out, clear your head for half an hour and just feel you're, doing a bit of good after all the damage, but also, get some time to yourself at such a busy time.
And how many years has this been taking place? How long have you been doing this?
So this is actually our 5th year. We've got a plan this year that will break £10,000, which we've done in the last 4 years, so that hopefully this year is the year we break through the £50,000 barrier. And we raise money for Winchester Hospice and also Wessex Cancer Support. And the money is raised by people pay £31 to take part, so that's £1 for every day. But if they miss a day, they pay a fine, or rather make a donation to the charities of £5. So sometimes you could think that actually it would be better if people didn't do their exercise, but actually we are encouraging people to get out there, feel better about themselves and, start the new year feeling good rather than overindulged perhaps.
Tell me, how many people get involved and what do they get out of being involved? What do they make of it?
Well, we have, in the last few years, it's been about 300 people each year taking part, mostly from the sort of Winchester, Hampshire area, but we've got a few people abroad as well. We've got 2 people take part in America, 1 in Canada and in Italy as well. So it's been, and Norway, so it's been really great to sort of reach out further afield. What do they get out of it? Locally, I think there's a real sense of camaraderie. We've been really lucky to have support from local gyms who've put on special Tinathon classes, which is really good. Everybody gets to have a laugh and enjoy each other and sweat together and just that sort of enjoyment of exercising and having fun together. But I also think people enjoy being on their own. I know for myself, I'm someone who likes to, when they go for a run, to run alone. And it's just half an hour to gather my thoughts and get on with the day. So yeah, I think people get an awful lot out of it, and I certainly know the charities enjoy what we do.
And a celebration at the end? Is there anything that happens to celebrate the completion of this challenge?
Well, over the last few years we have had a finale where there's sort of one last 5k all run together, or my lovely partner in crime, Heather Terry, fantastic PT, and she runs a special HIIT class where everybody gets a little bit muddy, and you know what, we all hit the pub afterwards. So a grand celebration of one last half an hour exercise and a celebratory drink afterwards, because of course it's New Year's Eve when we finish.
And also knowing that it's going to a good charity and you're doing your bit to help.
Yes, absolutely. So the charities that were chosen actually because Tina's family knew that they were important to Tina. Tina had been a big champion of the Winchester Hospice and really wanted to see it built. Unfortunately, it wasn't by the time she lost her battle, I'm afraid. Winchester Hospice has been so fantastic to see it open and see so many people and so many families looked after by them. And also Wessex Cancer Support, all the work that they do to support people with cancer and families of people with cancer. And, after people have lost their life, the ongoing support that they provide is just fantastic. So us being able to raise some much needed funds for them just feels a really good thing and a great way to go out on a year.
And you can find out more about Tinathon on social media. Search for Tinathon 23.
Winchester Radio.
While many people are counting the days to Christmas, for others it can be a particularly difficult time. Losing a loved one is always hard, but the festive season can make those feelings of grief even tougher. In the hope of bringing some comfort, Winchester Hospice is inviting people to a special event next Monday. The Light Up a Life service is a chance for people to reflect and remember. It's open to anyone in the community, not just those with a connection to the hospice. Here's Head of Charity, Mark Haney.
The Light Up a Light service is a service for the community, in effect, and we're encouraging as many people as we can from the local area to come together with us on the 4th of December to remember a loved one that they may have lost either recently or in previous years. The service itself is there a service of remembrance, reflection, and generally speaking, a time to remember those loved ones at what is, for a lot of people, is a difficult time of year. Winchester Sings will be there with us on the evening, performing to those in attendance. We'll have a number of readings as well, and we'll be singing carols, of course. One of the main things is probably our mince pies and mulled wine that's going to be on offer to those that want to attend and come and visit on the evening.
Everyone's going to be given a gift as well, aren't they?
They are. So one of our fantastic members of staff from the hospice, one of our staff nurses, has very kindly offered to make some stars, some craft stars. Everyone that comes along will be getting one of these stars, and it's actually a Christmas tree decoration. So the idea behind this is for everyone to obviously then go away and put that on their tree, and then every year they can bring the star out and hang it on their tree as a way of remembering, yes, their loved one, but also their time coming to the event here in Winchester this year.
And how important is it to have something like this where people come together to remember?
I think it's incredibly important, actually. I think a lot of us go about our sort of day-to-day, and particularly at Christmas, maybe not necessarily aware of the challenges that a lot of people are going through after losing a loved one. So what this service provides is a real focal point for those people, those families, and the community as well, to remember and to celebrate as well, and do it in an environment that is caring and an environment that is supportive, and also an opportunity to share those experiences with one another as well.
And like you said, Christmas can be such a difficult time if you've lost someone you love, and it's easy to feel isolated as well, isn't it, at that time?
It is, and I've worked for charities in the past where isolation has been a real challenge for the people that the charity has actually helped. So wherever we can provide an opportunity for people to get out with others in the community to either sort of share stories and experiences and what they're going through, I think we have to do that. Hugely important to avoid that isolation, because we all know that obviously isolation can lead to additional mental health challenges and problems as well. So it's opportunities to do and deliver events like this, I think, that really do contribute towards a positive mental health and, again, a sense of community, which is obviously one of the key reasons for having our hospice in Winchester.
Yeah, like you say, it doesn't have to be a sad time, does it? It's a time to remember and celebrate as well.
Absolutely. A lot of the time, I think with particularly the work of the hospice, everyone perceives a hospice, I think, as a very sort of perhaps a place orientated by death and passing away, but it isn't that. I think it's very much about life and celebrating life, and obviously reflecting on that as well. And I think that is what this event, the Light Up a Life service, will offer those that are coming along. It is that chance to reflect, tell stories, and just be part of something in a shared environment, in a great space, and just to feel warm at a time of year when you should feel warm and happy and cared for and comforted.
Hospice has been open 2 years now. You must be really proud of the difference that you've made to people that come here and to the community as a whole.
Yeah, this hospice, without doubt, has been a huge success and benefit to this community. In 2 years, this hospice has supported up to 1,000 families, which is absolutely astonishing, quite honestly. And I think what it does do is it emphasises why Winchester needed a hospice. And with that in mind, we have had so many people come through, so many stories shared, so many people cared for, both here in the hospice and, of course, in the community as well with our community services. It has gone from strength to strength, and it will continue to do so as a community resource that is here for everyone within Winchester.
And bigger and better in the future, maybe?
I do hope so. From a charitable perspective, we are very ambitious in what we're doing. We have some very exciting plans going forward. Light Up a Life is one of those, part of that plan. We wanted to make it as a focal point as we possibly could, which we've done, and it has been met with enthusiasm from many people. We've got over 100 people coming now, and obviously I'd like more and more people to come if they can. So that sort of, I think, is the start, I would hope, of us amplifying what we do as a hospice charity and getting out into the community even more than we have before, and obviously raising as much money as we possibly can as well to support our colleagues within the hospice and the patients that they support.
And Light Up a Life takes place on Monday at Christ Church at 6 p.m.
Now some stories making the news in our city. I'm Ron Venturi. Train services face disruption next week with industrial action by the union ASLEF. South Western Railway says there will be an extremely limited number of services running during the strike day next Wednesday. An overtime ban will also impact journeys from this Friday. Workshops are taking place on Friday and Saturday to explore plans to redevelop the Sir John Moore Barracks. The barracks will close as a military base in 2026, and this is the second stage of a public consultation into proposals for the site, which include up to 1,000 new homes. The workshops are taking place at Week Community Centre on Friday and at the Henry Beaufort School on Saturday. Lloyds Bank in Alresford has closed its doors. It was one of 21 branch closures across the UK. The company says the number of customers has fallen in recent years, with many people now banking online. This leaves just one building society nationwide in the town. It's unclear yet what will happen to the Lloyds building. More than 500 knives have been taken off the streets of Hampshire as part of a national police operation to tackle knife crime. Operation Sceptre saw surrender bins set up at police stations across the county, including one in Winchester. Police say they'll remain open until the end of the year for people to hand in any weapons. A new facility has opened in Winchester to help young people with eating disorders. It's thought to be the first of its kind in the county. The new day programme will be based at the Lee House Hospital on Alresford Road and will offer treatment for young people who live at home with family. The new programme will allow the unit to support an additional 60 youngsters each year, and it follows a successful scheme in London. And last month we told you about the Fabric of Winchester, a project led by the charity St John's to create memory quilts. People were invited to send in fabric with a special meaning or to join community sewing events to stitch a square depicting a memory. Well, all the blocks have now been collected and volunteers from Wessex Quilt Makers have begun the first part of the process to stitch them all together. The final quilts will go on display at the Ark in January and will then be donated to the Winchester Hospice.
Hundreds of people flocked to Alresford last Friday for the town's first Christmas light procession. The parade started at Perrin School and ended at the station with the arrival of the steam illuminations train on the Watercress line. People also came from across the county to take part in Winchester Cathedral's annual lantern parade. Families, community groups and businesses gathered at the historic building before processing through the High Street.
We're the Girl Guides of Swanmore, and it's a group effort for like a few weeks of us all working together. The entire designs is mainly done by the girls, and they really loved it. Lots of glitter, lots of glue, but it was amazing. It's been really good.
And tell me about the one you're carrying.
I didn't help make this one, but the girls who did tried really hard. It's nature themed, and it's got lots of leaves on it, as you can see, but they loved it. They absolutely loved it. It's an honour to be here today.
Can you tell me a bit about your lantern?
It's a clear umbrella. Jellyfish.
How did you make it? How long did it take?
It took about 45 minutes last night after work, and then what did we do? We tied them on and stuck some lights on because we had big dreams of making big lanterns after last year, but we both ended up just messaging last night and saying 45 minutes, let's get a lantern made.
And what's it like being part of this?
I love this, it's so nice. We came last year for the first time and it's just so lovely. When the doors open on the cathedral and you walk out, it's like Christmas has started, yeah, and the band was playing. It really is nice.
Tell me what you've made here.
So it's a ship called the Angel of the Seas. So it's a family activity, I suppose. So I made the hull, and then my wife did most of the tissue work. The kids helped with the labelling and the flags and the lights.
And what's it been like doing all of this?
It's been good fun. Yeah, absolutely. It's been nice to get involved. We got involved a few years ago, but we haven't done it since COVID, so it's nice to get back into it.
And it's a great atmosphere, isn't it, this event?
Yeah, it's lovely. Really nice.
Can you tell me a bit about your lantern?
Yeah, this is all from the garden. So the leaves are beech on the back and acer on the front. So it's called Rowan after our son Rowan. So yeah, it's all kind of recycled and environmentally friendly stuff. So yeah.
And it's in the shape of an angel.
Yeah,
it looks lovely.
Yeah, thank you very much.
What's it like being part of this event?
Oh, it's really exciting, isn't it? My son's only 3 and he's loving it, likes all the lights and the crowds, and it's nice having the start in the cathedral. Very nice indeed.
Can you tell me a bit about your lantern?
Yes, our son came up with the idea that angels are everywhere. So this is a model of him, and he's sheltering one of the dogs with his umbrella.
How long did it take you to make this amazing thing?
Well, Adriana, my wife, made it. She was doing an hour or two every night for about a month.
Wow, that's a lot of hard work then.
Yes, but it's lovely. I have fun doing it.
And what's it like being part of this event?
It's great, so many great lanterns, and it gets bigger every year, I think.
It's shout-outs time here on Winchester Now. Got some nice ones for you this week. Firstly today, a huge well done to 80-year-old Mary Dunn, who's raised close to £14,000 for the Hampshire Hospital's charity and cancer research. After Mary was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, she was treated in the Nick Jonas ward in Winchester. Mary said that the care she received was fantastic and wanted to do something to say thank you. Well, Mary, alongside friends and family, walked along the testway and got sponsored by many supporters for doing so. A thank you has been given to the 19 teams who took part in Homestart Winchester's annual quiz recently. The event raised more than £3,000 for the charity, which supports struggling families. Patron Alistair Stewart was on hand to present the raffle prizes. Well done to the events team for their hard work in organising a successful evening. Let's say congratulations now to Winchester Cathedral's boy choristers, who are Grammy nominees. Last year, the youngsters were commissioned to sing on the soundtrack for a video game called Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It was composed by former chorister Stephen Barton and recorded at the famous Abbey Road Studios in London. Well, now the track has been nominated for the prestigious award. The winner will be announced in February. And break a leg to all the performers taking part in pantos and Christmas shows this festive season, whether professional or amateur productions in or around our city. Months of rehearsals, set building and costume making goes into the performances, and they bring much joy to the audiences. For many people, Christmas isn't complete without a panto. Oh no it isn't! Booing at the baddies, cheering with the goodies, and of course the happy ever after. And finally, you might see lots of Santas in the city on Sunday because it's the annual Santa run for Naomi House and Jack's Place. The event is in its 15th year and raises thousands of pounds. The 5k route passes some of the famous landmarks around Winchester, including King Alfred's statue and the cathedral, before it finishes in the Broadway. Be sure to go and give them a cheer. I'm Paul Blitz. More shout-outs for you next week.
Winchester Radio.
Well, it's a busy time for Santa, and on Friday he starts his tour of the city.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
The Santa sleigh is back, visiting a different area of Winchester between the 1st and the 20th of December. Santa and his elves will be spreading Christmas joy as well as raising money for local charities. Here's Rob Hugh from organisers Winchester Round Table.
We cover quite a number of routes, so I think we have over 16 routes, all on our website, winchestersantasleigh.co.uk. On that website you'll find all the routes, all the areas that we do, and typically it runs from the 1st of December to about the 20th of December.
And tell me a bit about the reaction you get as you go around Winchester.
The snow machine goes on, Santa and Mrs. Claus turn up, and the kids just go crazy. They follow the snow, they want to get close to Santa. Yeah, real joy, and you can see the parents' faces as well. What's great is when the sleigh drives down the street, and behind us we have 1, 2, 3 dozen families following us all the way around the route. Almost regardless of what we generate financially for the charities we support, just seeing the smiles and the cheers as we come onto their street, I think is payment enough. Yeah.
Yes, like you say, you raise a lot of money for local charities as well.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the charities that you'll be helping this year.
A large portion are PTAs from the local schools. We have Street Reach as well, which engage with teenagers on the street, some dance groups, Girl Guides, Scouts, hospices, so quite a selection really. It's quite broad, and having taken over this year from Tony last year, I was quite surprised actually at the scope at which we help, and overall we raise around about £10,000 for those charities. So
That's brilliant, and it must take a lot of organising to do this, especially like you say you've only just finished the fireworks and now you're organising this as well.
Yeah, it was a few months ago that I actually had to start with licences, speaking with the council, and then getting the sleigh ready because she sits dormant for a while, and then we have to wake her up and check everything's working. So yeah, it's quite interesting in the summer to be thinking about Christmas.
And as an organisation, you must enjoy it. Do you get a buzz? Do you get into the Christmas spirit doing it yourselves?
Yeah, for sure. I think this is one of the most fun events that we hold. Everyone, because most of us have families as well, really enjoy coming out and getting part of the sleigh. I mean, it takes roughly 6 or so of us to put it on every night, so there's a fair commitment from us. But the joy of it, like I said, about the reaction you get, and because we visit so many areas in Winchester, I think everyone gets a good sight of Santa and what we have to offer.
It makes a lot of people's Christmas, doesn't it, seeing Santa?
It really does. Actually, we have to be a little bit careful because we have a tracker on the sleigh which is great because if the weather's not too great, people do follow us in the cars or come to see us. So we do need to hold our end of the bargain and follow the routes, and sometimes it's not possible. We may miss a road and we do apologise for that, but we are trying to guide Santa in a sleigh through a myriad of people and routes. So yeah.
And bring a bit of joy.
And bring a bit of joy, for sure, yeah.
And to find out more about the dates, times and routes, visit winchestersantasleigh.co.uk. That's all for today. Many thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Winchester Now. We hope you've enjoyed this weekly programme from Winchester Radio. If you have a story to share with us, please let us know. You can drop us an email. We're news@winchester.radio. And you can follow us on social media platforms. Just search for Winchester Radio.
Winchester Radio.